Hello friends, let's discuss resistant starch in this video. The term resistant starch is mentioned in Harper's Illustrated Biochemistry as well as Ganong's Review of Medical Physiology. But what is resistant starch is not clearly mentioned in these books. So that is why I explained resistant starch in detail in my book, that is Biochemistry for Undergraduates. To understand resistant starch, let's revise what is starch. Starch is the most abundant polysaccharide in our diet. Rice, wheat, potato, they're all made up of starch. It is a storage homopolysaccharide of plants which is made up of glucose. The linear chain of starch is linked by alpha 1,4 linkage and the branch point is linked by alpha 1,6 linkages. The linear linkage, that is alpha 1,4 linkage, is known as amylose. The branched portion is known as amylopectin. Starch is digested in the intestine by pancreatic amylase. Significant action is by pancreatic amylase. In the mouth, there is an enzyme called salivary amylase. The effect is not significant. There are two types of starch, rapidly digestible and slowly digestible. Freshly cooked starchy food is rapidly digestible, like freshly cooked rice, freshly made idli, freshly made dosa. So all these are rapidly digested, so they increase the blood glucose level rapidly, so they have a high glycemic index. Most raw cereals are digested slowly but completely. So they come under the category of slowly digestible starch. Right? What about resistant starch? Resistant starch is the sum of starch and products of starch degradation not absorbed in the small intestine of healthy individual. So the term resistant in resistant starch indicates that this starch is resistant to absorption. So resistant starch escapes small intestinal absorption and comes to large intestine. There are four types of resistant starch. Physically inaccessible resistant starch is present in partly milled grains and seeds. Resistant granules of starch are present in raw potato, green banana, some legumes, and high amylose cornstarch. Retrograded starch is present in cooked and cooled potato, bread, and cornflakes. Chemically modified starch, as the name suggests, it is chemically modified. Starch esters, starch ethers, and cross bonded starch are examples for this. Out of these four, this retrograded starch is very, very interesting. I came to know about retrograded starch in one of the videos of Krish Ashok's YouTube channel. This is the link. You can subscribe to his channel. His videos are really wonderful. Cooling the freshly cooked rice converts some amount of starch into retrograded starch, which is beneficial for the health. As we know, resistant starch escapes absorption in the small intestine and it comes to the large intestine, where it is acted upon by the bacterial flora to produce butyric acid. resistant starch has a prebiotic effect. What is prebiotic and what is probiotic? I have explained the difference between these two very clearly in this video. Please have a look. Butyric acid, which is produced by the fermentation of resistant starch by the bacterial flora, is acted upon by the colonic epithelial cells. So butyric acid produces energy via beta oxidation process for colonocytes. Another important property is that butyric acid has tumor suppressor effect. Butyric acid is an anti-tumor metabolite. So similar to dietary fiber, resistant starch also protects against colon cancer. So it is okay not to eat freshly cooked hot rice. If your mother is giving you a cold rice, it is okay. No need to reheat it. You can eat cold rice.